So back with 3 new sessions, and after a decent warm up we go straight into what is essentially our fitness work for the night. This is a 15 by 12 grid with a 6-yard goal at the end. This is the target for the attackers to dribble through. This size of grid worked really well with an 06 born group, 2006 born. Play around with the sizes to make it fit for your level and your age. Go straight away. So if the attacker scores by going through the gate, if the defender wins it or the ball goes out, these guys need to be ready to go straight away. Work 2 sets of 2 minutes and your players will be working hard. Increase it as you get fitter and fitter throughout the season. This exercise starts with A, trying to pass the ball across to B. Now, this player needs to take a touch before passing the ball. Do not allow the players to pass a dead ball. As soon as that ball is touched, this allows the player down at A here to enter the grid. Make sure that you keep these cones in place to give this guy a chance of winning the ball. If B is allowed to go all the way up here, that pass from A will always get there. This player will never get it. You want to have success for both attackers and defenders. So if this defender comes in, intercepts, the game's done, he moves across, next players are up. However, if the ball does get across to B, that releases this player in here and it's a 1v1 with B trying to get across this end line here. Again, play with the sizes, make sure that the distance isn't too large for the guys coming in to cover. You do want success for both attackers and defenders. This exercise is something that I saw Laura Harvey do when she was at Arsenal. It was a bit more spatial awareness for the defenders and attackers to use. When the ball is passed down this channel, I'm asking these guys to be really aggressive. You've got a longer distance to see the ball. Don't wait on it, don't be hesitant, get in and try and win that ball. If you can do it, bang, you go straight into the next zone, you help the attack. Again, same for the guys in here. Wherever that ball is getting passed forward a zone, I've been asking my players in that setup to be really aggressive. Don't wait for your opponent to take a touch and then react. Can we get there before the ball arrives at the opponent? I've found that with a few of the players here in Vancouver, they are too reactive rather than proactive. Again, play with the sizes and the distance between spaces to make sure that it fits your group. Again, very simple thirds exercise, or thirds game, sorry. If you win the ball from an interception, get yourself forward into the next zone and help build that attack. After a good warm-up in the next session, I go into what I call the Suarez technical drill. So if you watch Luis Suarez, he's really good at taking a touch toward the defender, engaging that defender, and then his next touch will be off at an angle. So if that ball is coming from the blue player here, passes to the outside, first touch in towards the traffic in the middle, and then bang, take that touch either inside or outside of either foot, but can we get that change of direction? There needs to be a change of direction with a change of pace. If it's all one pace, it won't work. So take that touch in, change direction, change pace, get yourself through the traffic and find a pass on the other side. Just to back up the interception work that we did in the last session, I've added this exercise in. Now, the reason I've got the halfway line in here is because some younger players ended up closing that gap. So the passes were only 2 or 3 yards and the defenders never got a chance to pick up on those loose passes or that poor first touch. So a player in the left hand side box must pass to a player on the right hand side box. These guys can go anywhere looking for that loose first touch to pounce and go and win it. I'm sure we've all played this game, King of the Ring. I've adapted it a little bit from the game that I played when I was growing up to say that however many players you knock out, you minus the number of times that you were knocked out, and that is your individual score. So if you knock 5 players out, you were knocked out 3 times by players, your individual score is 2. And I did that 3 sets of 4 minutes. It's good hard work for players if they're doing it at a decent pace. That was their fitness work for the night. Going into a game, man marking, progressing to an open game. For the final session of this week, again after a warm-up, we go into just a reaction exercise, and it's only 5 yards between each of these players. So it's done at 100%, and for each little sprint it's 10 yards. So the player in the middle is the one that I always have controlling this. They're the one that calls out the 10 random numbers, and I ask one of these two guys on the side just to count those 10. So when the player in the middle gets to 8, the player who's at 1 and 2 will say 2 left, just so that both the counter and the worker know what they're doing. Make sure that as the player comes up to say tag the hand of number 3, as he is going backwards, the player calls out the next number. There should be no waiting time for the player here. It should be forwards, backwards, no waiting time at all, no hesitation. This is actually based on how I set up my team. Now, I've given you examples of this could be a centre half, this could be a centre half or right back. This could be a right back or centre midfielder, defensive mid, and that could be a left winger or that third man running from centre midfield. The only thing that I would ask you to make sure you do here is, can you create distances and angles that are game-like? Try and keep away from straight passes, especially if you're going across that defensive area, and make sure that ball's getting played at game speed, ball's getting passed into space, especially for that player to run onto, and it's a game-like distance. You know, if you've got 10-year-old players, would you be asking them to hit a 50-yard pass? Probably not. If you've got under 16s and you're looking for that defensive midfielder to left winger, is a 50-yard diagonal possible? Yes. Would you do it here? Probably not. We're looking for speed of play to get the ball into a space where you can switch it across to another side. So that could be short, 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 and then a medium to longer one. I've not done this 50 yards. I've probably done this across 20 to 25 yards. So I actually did this with cones on the field. Just simple start in the middle. I gave the blue players free rein. You guys can work together in any way you want as long as the ball goes into one of the 3 boxes, and I just marked it out with different coloured cones. The winger knew when I get to this box, yellow to yellow, blue to blue, red to red, and I always wanted at least one player from the midfield and attackers to get into that box. I then started asking the winger, when they got comfortable doing this, see where the 2 defenders are, and I want you to specifically hit the free man. Even if this midfielder who starts the exercise only gets to the D at the edge of the box, can we find that spare player? And I did do this on the left hand side as well. During this exercise, or during the final game, I did have a couple of stoppages, especially when I saw the ball going into wide areas, in one of the areas that we had those 3 boxes set up, and I didn't see movement from an attacking player to get into that area where the cross should be coming in. Stopped it, made sure that players were recognising those triggers, where the ball was, what a cross looked like when it was in those areas, and making sure that we were having effective runs. That's the 3 sessions for the week, guys. Hope you can take something from it and adapt it to fit your team. Cheers.